All right, we are live. Hey everyone, welcome back. So I hate when the time in between and the time I pull up my notes is like crossing each other. But we are live, you guys. If you joined a rerun last week, thank you so much. And tonight's episode is going to be powerful because growth isn't measured by what you start doing. Growth is measured by what you stop entertaining. Today's show is called The Old Me Would Have Said Yes. And tonight's episode came from a very real experience that I had recently. Several years ago, I was living differently than I am today. You know, we all grow in the process of life. I was making different decisions, I had different standards, and I viewed relationships differently. Recently, a man from my past sent me a message. Years ago, we had connected and hooked up. Since then, every so often, he would send me messages with like sexual undertones or innuendos. And months ago, I told him I was in a relationship. I told him I was happy. I told him I wasn't interested. And basically, I wasn't interested in what he was offering. So recently, he sent another message. I didn't really understand it, so I asked what it meant. And his response was, "Why did you swipe? Is it because you're a nasty girl?" Immediately, something inside me was like, no. And not because I was offended, not because I was angry. Okay, I'm going to be real. Yes, a little offended, a little angry. But because I realized he was speaking to a version of me that no longer exists. And that's when I decided, you know what? Block. I needed to I needed to create that boundary. So tonight isn't about him. Tonight is about what happens when you evolve. So stick with me, okay? Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of You Were Meant for More. I'm your host, Francina Ayala, self-love coach and transformational speaker. And I'm going to share how evolving is going to pretty much release anything that is no longer serving you. And I want you to grab a pen, a paper, wherever you're joining me from, because I want you to dive deep with me. As we evolve, we start to release things that no longer set the standard for what it is that we're building and how we're building that relationship with God. Now, you all know that if you've been following me a while, that I've done a lot of personal development and I wanted to really understand the human mind. So I went and got NLP certified. I started studying spiritual psychology and really growing in my faith. So there's no judgment towards people. It just came to a point where I needed to understand that I no longer accept that type of interaction. And so I wanted to share that with you all because I want you to understand as you evolve, people are going to drop off, and that's okay. And in a little bit, I'm going to do an assessment, a self love assessment, so that again, there's some awareness that you are understanding the area that you're in now and how you get to proceed going forward. So, this is going to be a powerful show, you guys. And it's coming from experience, and I'm going to share with you because you all know I'm honest and transparent about it. Is that I should have made those boundaries very clear in the beginning and I didn't. And so during that assessment, you're going to see how I even overlooked it. And we're going to move through this together. Sound good? All right, let's pull up your chair, get comfortable, grab your pen, grab your paper, grab your notepad. You guys, my hair is getting long. I'm feeling like a cut coming soon. I don't know. I'm kind of liking the long, but then again, I feel like it needs to be cut. I don't know why. Anyways, so I'm just in that mood today. So let me know whether you're joining live or you're catching this on replay. I'm excited you're here. I want to hear all the questions, all of the feedback that you guys have, and we're going to go ahead and dive in. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up my notes. And then again, I want you all here for the assessment. I want you to take notes. I want you to understand as we go through this process together. Because again, I'm still evolving. And for something that should have been cut off and reset as far as boundaries a long time ago, I didn't. So again, I'm evolving as well. So, okay, here we go. People remember the version of you they experienced. So sometimes they don't know you've changed. Sometimes they don't want you to change. Remember, people put you in the box that they label that that's you. That's it. So when you start breaking out of that box, evolving, they don't know how to interact with you, or they'll treat you a certain way and you're like, wait a second, that's not who I am anymore. That's okay. It just no longer means it means you no longer fit in that circle. That makes sense. Hope you are loving yourself through that process. But sometimes they benefit from the old version of you. And growth often disappoints people who benefited from your lack of boundaries. I know, right? It's kind of like, what? So I want to share that again. Growth often disappoints people who benefited from your lack of boundaries. Yeah, it hurts. I was talking to a friend today and I said, man, I go, and I've known this throughout my evolvement in entrepreneurship. And I'm like, it's pretty lonely. The road to success and the road to entrepreneurship is pretty lonely. And so just surround yourself with people that are doing it and have the right people in their corner that they're cheering you on all the way. And I'm your biggest cheerleader. Okay, I also kind of wanted to make another reference because when all of that was going down last week, something else came to mind. I was watching a movie. Now, I gave blood on Saturday, you guys. I tend to give blood, obviously, with an organization. And, I do my part to try to help others. And for some reason, it took me down like hardcore. And I was like, okay, I need to relax. I need to rest. And so I took that day last Saturday to just rest. I was like, let me rest and not do any work. And I watched a movie. And I'm a big rom-com girl. So any other rom-com people here? And I was watching the movie, The Wedding Date. And it's so funny because I haven't seen that movie in years. I can't even tell you, maybe 5-6 years or so, probably longer. And I really love that movie. It was great, but it's so funny to look at it in a different perspective than because of the person I am today versus the person I was back then, and like falling in love with love and oh my goodness, and a lot of what went through that movie had a lot of different undertone today or Saturday than it did many years ago. And I was just like, wow, I got to see everything, of course, as a coach, as understanding people and really emphasizing the wording and the quotes that they used in that movie. So I'm going to share one with you guys. So from the movie, The Wedding Date, I'm sharing a quote that said, and it was from the main character, one of the main characters, Nick, and so handsome. That actor is so handsome. One of my favorites. It says, I believe every woman has the exact love life she wants. Okay. And it really had me thinking because I was like, wow, that's kind of true. But then I challenged it. I don't think every woman has the love life she wants. I think many women have the love life they're currently willing to tolerate. And so that is a little bit deeper because when you say women have the love life they want, a lot of them will get defensive and just be like, wait a second. And so like they don't want to acknowledge this isn't what I want. And so I'm like, okay, well, what are you willing to tolerate? And that's a different question. Only a select few will stay or make friends with new and better people. Yes, it is. When they talk about the top, thank you so much, Will, for sharing. When you talk about the 1%, the 1% of people like going to the top, making it big, doing big things, it literally is very few and far between because people are very used to staying in their comfort zone. And it's just natural. So you got to understand that it's okay. Like if that's where they want to be, then that's the life they choose, and that's okay. That's okay for them. So you got to decide where you want to be in this journey called life. completely okay where you're at. You have to be okay with it. Okay. All right. So thanks for sharing. So again, let's go back. I think many women have the love life they're currently willing to tolerate. And that hits differently. And this is where self worth enters the conversation. Okay. Now, I told you guys I wanted you to grab a pen and paper because I want you to understand that we're going to dive into these questions together so that you understand the process of where your thoughts are and where you're at and how you're receiving love, compassion, appreciation in any way, shape, or form. That can be in a romantic relationship, it can be a work relationship. Because what happens is we are tolerating the types of relationships that we're allowing in our lives. And some people are just like, no. Or some people can see it. It's like, yeah, that's exactly who I allow in my life. Now, again, you guys, we got to do it from a place of love. Okay. Now, granted, I know you're going to be like, well, Francine, this person upset me. How could I be nice to them? And this and that. Their anger is a reflection of them. Your response is a reflection of you. So remember, how you interact with people is all coming from the frequency and vibration that you give off. Okay? You guys, I've done many shows on this. So we're going to dive into the assessment. Is that okay? Because I figured, you know what? Let's just dive right in. You know, I can do a lot of coaching and teaching and things like this, but I want to give you guys the nuggets, the gold, where you get to really analyze what's coming up for you in your life. Is that okay? Let's dive in then. All right. So I'm going to pull up my notes. You're going to see me turning to the right a lot because I have these questions on the side and I'm able to share them on the screen with you all. So bear with me as I share them. So we're going to do the self-worth assessment and we're going to say, would the old you still say yes? Now I'm going to share with you all as well this process, like where I'm at with you guys. Maybe I should keep score too, because I'm going to be like truly transparent about it. And I'll tell you where I was and where I'm at today, because these questions are so relatable. So let me go ahead and grab a piece of paper and do this with you guys, because, you know, why not do it together? I think it's so beneficial. I don't even have a piece of paper. Let me grab an envelope. Okay. All right. So here we go. Number 1, someone repeatedly crosses a boundary you've communicated. So they're repeatedly crossing a boundary that you've communicated. Do you A, I reinforce the boundary? Do you B, I explain it again? Or do you C, I tolerate it? Okay. So I'm going to go through these and kind of give some scenarios and examples. So someone repeatedly crossed a boundary you've communicated. And you can either, I reinforce the boundary. So you're going to do number 1 and then put A. So number 1 is A, or B or C. And then you're going to say, or it's B, I explain it again. Or C, I tolerate it. So whether you're watching this on replay or live, just if you're watching on replay, I should say, pause it and then think about it. You know, what do I do? But I'm going to move on since I'm live currently. Okay, so number 2 is someone flirts with you in a way that no longer aligns with your values. Do you A, I shut it down? B, I feel uncomfortable but remain polite? Or C, I entertain it? You guys, as I'm doing this, I'm realizing where I was 2 years ago, where I was 5 years ago, and where I am today. And I see all of these lining up. So let's kind of give an example. Let's go back to 1. Someone repeatedly crossed the boundary you've communicated. So, for example, I I can bring up the situation that happened to me recently. So it's like, hey, I have a boyfriend, I'm happy. Don't like send me things like this. And then they continue to send you like innuendos, sexual innuendos and messages. And so I reinforce the boundary. Hey, I mentioned to you that I wasn't comfortable with this. Don't send them anymore. I explain it again. So remember I told you I had a boyfriend, so this isn't like I'm happy. Basically, you explain what you said to them last time. Or C, do you tolerate it? Okay, so I'm going to share quickly with you guys that I was at C. So I was at C. I was like, okay, well, whatever. I just kind of ignored it. So that was me tolerating it. Okay, so I was at C there. Okay, now let's go to number 2. Someone flirts with you in a way that no longer aligns with your values. Okay, so do we A, I shut it down. Like you're quick to say like, nope, don't do that. B, I feel uncomfortable but remain polite. Or C, I entertain it. And so I have to share because 5 years ago, I entertained it. I was all about it. I was like flirty, 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 flirty Francine. I was all about it. 2 years ago, I was like, I feel uncomfortable but remain polite. Actually, not even 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I entertained it. Recently, this is what happened to me recently. I feel uncomfortable, but I remain polite. And that's what I did because he was a friend. And so, yeah. So I had to put B because that was me. I feel uncomfortable, but I remained polite. Okay. Now, the new me, like, again, why this is taking effect is because I shut it down. Block. I shut it down real quick. But again, it's a process and evolving, but give grace. Give grace for those who don't know any better. Okay. And granted, you might say, but Francine, they're old enough to know better. We're all programmed differently. We all think it's okay. He thought it was okay because I never enforced the boundary. So you got to understand there's a process to this. Okay, number 3. You notice a red flag early. Do you A, I pay attention? So what does that look like? You notice a red flag early. Do you pay attention? You're like, okay, that was like a little bit of a red flag. I'm gonna watch this red flag closely. Do you B, I hope it changes? Or do you C, I ignore it? Yeah, I'm gonna answer that too. So that was number 3. All right. And then number 4, someone disappoints you. You guys, mastering your emotions is by far the best power you can give yourself in any situation. So someone disappoints you. Do you A, I accept reality? Do you B, I rationalize it? I'm going to rationalize like what's happening in this situation. Do you C, I focus on their potential? And that's valid. Sometimes people are like, oh, well, goes back to the episode I did last week. They're great if, remember you guys, no more ifing. So remember, someone disappoints you. Do you accept reality? Do you rationalize it? Or do you focus on their potential? So by accepting reality, it just means that you're aware. Because what happens is when you become aware of the situation that has disappointed you, you realize, okay, why did that disappoint me? Because I had high expectations where there shouldn't have been high expectations. it starts to revert back to what type of title you gave them in the beginning. And we do that. We romanticize relationships and what they become or what they can become, their potential. And if you didn't catch last week's or the week before episode about love wasn't enough, you have to go back and watch it, because you can't abandon yourself hoping that it'll work out, hoping they'll become a better person. Okay. All right. So that was number 4. Did I answer it? Number 4 was someone disappoints you. You accept reality, you rationalize it, or you focus on their potential. Oops. All right. Let's go to number 5. Okay, so I'm going to do, actually, it's so funny, you guys. I'm putting like 2 answers because, like, again, I know where I'm at now and I know where I was before. And for me, before was literally like a few months ago. Okay, number 5, a relationship no longer aligns. Okay, so if a relationship no longer aligns, do you choose yourself? Do you say, okay, well, what is it that I want? What is it that I'm looking, towards? What is it that I'm building? Do you B, I delayed the decision? I'm like, let me write this down. Or do you C, I stay to avoid loss? Okay. So remember, that one is a relationship no longer aligns. Now, in relationships, there's a lot of areas where things can no longer align, where you have like common shared likes, but maybe the goals aren't all there. Your values are not matching up. Their values aren't matching up. Like, things start to show themselves. And then you've got to decide whether you're going to whether you're going to choose yourself. And you know what? Your peace, your worth, everything you've built is worth more than trying to stay and avoid a loss. Do you B, delay the decision? Or do you C, avoid the loss? Okay, so that's number 5 with a relationship no longer aligns. Be honest with yourself. It's okay. This is a process that you get to go through, okay? Now, if this doesn't align with you because you're in a beautiful, healthy relationship, that's amazing. I love that. And you can still take this understanding that, like, hey, we have commonalities. We get to talk. We get to communicate. And I love those relationships that are rooted in communication. And that's what I had. That's what I had with my relationship. Okay. All right. Number 6, when someone disrespects me. Oh, you guys, like, this can magnify in so many different areas. Like, it can magnify at work, it can be in a relationship, it can be at home with family. Like, it's crazy. So do you address it? Do you B, I question myself first? Or do you C, I remain silent? It's so good, you guys. I did an episode not too long ago where I shared a message about being disrespected as well. So I'll share a little bit more. Okay, so the question was, when someone disrespects me, do I A, address it? B, I question myself first? Or C, I remain silent? Let's see where you're at. All right, number 7. My happiness comes primarily from internal peace, a combination of internal and external validation, or number C, other people's approval. That one's a good one, you guys. And I'm going to talk about that one. Oh my goodness. So good. Okay, so 7, my happiness comes primarily from A, internal peace, B, a combination of internal or external validation, or C, other people's approval. All right, number 8. There's 20 questions, guys, so mark it down, 20, all the way to 20. I don't know if I shared that. Number 8, when I feel lonely, oh my goodness. I know that feeling. 8. So A, I sit with it and I grow through it. B, I distract myself. C, I reconnect with unhealthy situations. You guys, who am I kidding? I'll just share right now. I was CBA. I was CBA. And the reason why I say that is because I was C. I remember that. I would reconnect with unhealthy situations. I was lonely. I wanted somebody to be there. B, I would distract myself. I would distract myself by texting people. Now I'm at peace. I sit with it and I grow through it. I really do. Like I'll watch movies. I'll work on my business. I will organize my room. Like there's just so much peace in where I'm at now. And I just, yeah. So number 8, you'll know that. Peace. Peace is all me. All right, number 9. Someone isn't giving me what I need. I communicate clearly. I wait and hope. I accept less. Oh, you guys, this one is such a powerful one. You know why? Because I see it in every single relationship. In every single relationship. Now, if you don't know already, I'm a communications major. So I communicate clearly. Now, sometimes I would, I didn't know how to do it. I remember I used to be very passive aggressive, and it's learned behavior, And so this is where I see a lot of people in this area, a lot of people, they wait and hope. They wait and hope. And so many people just accept less. But let me tell you what happens. When you accept less and you wait and hope, you get angry, you're fighting, there's a constant disconnect because you're so angry that they're not matching up to your level of expectation, and you're also mad at yourself for accepting less. So it's a whole process of needing to communicate properly. So if this is sitting with you, if you're understanding, if you're like having these aha moments, let me know. I'm curious. Or maybe you need to share with somebody who needs this information and wants guidance to walk through this process of like how to communicate, because so many things can be resolved with proper communication. Okay. So 9, someone isn't giving me what I need. A, I communicate clearly. B, I wait and hope. And C, I accept less. All right, number 10. When God reveals something isn't for me, oh my goodness, you guys, this is so funny. So I was laughing because, God revealed a lot and I just kind of ran away from it. So remember, no judgment because I've been there. So when God reveals something isn't for me, hold on, I forgot to write down number 9 for me. I trust in him. I struggle but listen. I keep holding on. C. I'm just going to be real right now. I'm going to put C. And I'll share more. I mean, I kind of shared a little bit, like God told me, I need you to go this way. And I was like the opposite. I'm like, yeah, but God, there's more this way, So yeah, I did everything on my own. So remember, when God reveals something isn't for me, do I trust him? B, I struggle, but I listen. Or C, I keep holding on. Keep holding on. That was me, you guys. I'm being honest, okay? I kept holding on. All right. Again, like I said, no judgment. I'm there. 11. When I receive mixed signals. Oh my goodness. These are so good, you guys. I didn't even go through all of them. These are so good. When I receive mixed signals, do I believe the inconsistency? Do you seek clarification? That's actually not bad. You're like, wait a second, am I reading this wrong? Or do you make excuses? Oh, but they're good if. They've got so much potential if. Go back to the other show. Okay, so when I receive mixed signals, do I believe the inconsistency? Do I seek clarification? Or do I make excuses? All right, I'm going to do mine. So one thing about me was whenever I saw inconsistencies, I would fall under B, meaning I would seek clarification, because for the most part, I was giving the benefit of the doubt. And I almost want to say like I was kind of holding on still, giving the benefit of the doubt. So I would seek clarification. And then when the consistencies continued, I was like, okay, it's me. All right. So that's when I receive mixed signals. Do I believe the inconsistency? Do I seek clarification, or do I make excuses? 12. How do I handle rejection? How do you handle rejection? Do you I know my worth remains intact. It hurts, but I recover. C, I question my value. How do you handle rejection? That's a good one, because you can look at rejection in relationships, in career, in your business. So sometimes people, like when they're in sales and they get rejected by clients that say no, not interested, they tend to receive that as they're not good enough. Yeah. It's all a pattern that continues to replay in your subconscious. So how do you receive it? This is why it's good to do these types of assessments, so that you understand how your brain is receiving it. Okay. So how do I handle rejection? Do I know my worth remains intact. It hurts, but I recover. Or do I question my value? I would honestly say I'm at a B. But I want to see where you guys are. Sometimes like I feel like I want to say BA. Like I know I know my value. I'm good. But like there's still that sometimes I'm just like, oh, that's a bummer. But I'm able to recover quickly, if that makes sense. All right, 13. When someone pulls away, oh, I wish you guys were doing this with me live. You were here, we were engaging. This is like amazing. But when someone pulls away, I allow them space. Bye-bye is A. B, I become anxious. Or C, I chase them. Ooh. Yeah. When someone pulls away, I allow them space. I become anxious, or I chase them. You guys, I had to reflect back. Yeah, I remember that. I was at B and C, and I'm like, that was an ugly feeling. I remember that. So think about it. Sometimes it gets you in the core. Okay. Number 14. We're at 14, right? When I make a mistake, do I learn from it? B, do I beat myself up briefly? Or C, I shame myself for it? Oh my goodness, you guys, we are our worst critics. And I want you to give yourself some love and grace. Because I promise you, we are our worst critics, and we will beat ourselves up. So it's a process. So many people, even entrepreneurs, will go through this tons, but you get to learn from it, from every mistake, from every failure. I can't tell you how many I've had. You learn from it. So do you A, learn from it? Do you B, beat yourself up briefly? Or C, I shame myself for it? All right, so number 15. When I look at my future, do I A, believe good things are possible? All good things are possible if you believe from the Bible. Do you B, I hope things improve? Do you C, I expect disappointment? Oh my goodness, somebody shared that with me. I can't remember who, but it was a friend, I want to say. And it's like, if you expect disappointment, you won't be disappointed when it happens. I was like, that is the complete wrong outlook. I'm like, you need to believe good things are possible. You need to believe that all things were made for your good. You just have to be willing to receive them. Because what happens is our mind is a mechanism that will support us in either way. If you say, I'm not good enough, I can't do it, I expect disappointment, guess what you'll receive? All of it. All of what I just said. If you say, I respect myself, I am worthy of good things, all things are possible, I am growing, I'm developing, I am, abundant, I am grateful, I am so blessed, guess what you'll be? All of it. Well, tell your mind what you want it to be. Don't allow the stories to continue to play in your head. All right, this was 15. When I look at my future, do I A, believe good things are possible? B, I hope things improve? Or C, I expect disappointment? So like when I'm not at my potential in my business, I know. I can tell you like clear as day, I'm not doing enough. Clear as day, I'm not doing enough. I know where I'm lacking. I know where I'm falling short. And those were through all learned experiences, failures, mistakes, and everything. But you know what? I gave myself grace. I gave myself grace for how far I've come. I gave myself grace for the amount of work, energy, sleepless nights, late nights, just constant pouring into who I wanted to become, who God positioned me to become. Granted, I ran from him multiple times, years after year after year. I would run from him. And I would struggle in the process because he's like, really? You want to not listen? Belly of the whale. It's okay. It's okay because I know where I'm going, and I'm so confident about where that's headed that I don't worry about the things that don't come in alignment. And that's the type of confidence and assurance that you have to have every single day, even when even when the sky is falling, no matter what. Even on those days where you're just like, I can't even take the pressure of life. Call it a day, wrap yourself up in a blanket, watch a good rom-com, take a nap. The next day, start again. Get up and go. It's going to happen to us. Life is always lifing. You just have to be ready to continue to move forward. You can't give up. So remember, whatever it is you tell your brain, whatever it is whatever situation you want out of life is what your brain will give you. Is your reality in front of you. And I know where I'm at. I know where I'm headed. And I told my accountability group the other day, about, yeah, I go, I've been quiet. You guys haven't seen me do a lot. I go, but just wait. I go, just wait until I step out into the light again. Because I'm being the light. Wait until I step out in front of it and say, all right, let's go. Game over. This business is going to skyrocket. Everything I've worked hard for over the last 10 years is going to just blow up in like a rocket. It's going to be amazing. And it's going to be exciting. And I'm going to be like, okay, well, this is what I worked towards. But I knew I never gave up on my dream where so many people did. And so that's what I want for you guys. All right. I had to share some love and some inspiration with you. All right. Which one were we on? I think it was 15. Oh, when I look at my future. See, you guys, you got me all motivated. When I look at my future, do I A, believe in good things are possible? Yes, you guys should all have that. Have it down. B, I hope things improve. Or C, I expect disappointment. That's why we got into that. Never expect that. Okay, 16. Someone from my past returns. I'm so sorry, guys. I hope you were able to hear me okay. Jeez, I do that all the time. Okay, someone from my past returns. Oh, someone from my past. Do I A, evaluate whether they align with who I am today? B, I feel tempted. C, I immediately reopen the door like, hey, come on in. What's going on? So remember, someone from my past returns. Do you A, I evaluate whether they align with who I am today? Do I B, do I feel tempted? Temptation. Or C, do I immediately open the door? Let's write that down, you guys. All right, let's go to 17. How do I respond to conflict? Do I communicate directly, avoid it initially, or do I suppress my needs? Now, this one's actually a pretty interesting one, and I want to talk about this one because I think this reflects a lot about how we show up in responding to conflict, like a lot of people don't like conflict, and I was one of them. Growing up, I never liked conflict, and I mean, of course, I don't like it as an adult either, but it's like it's really understanding what the other person is trying to communicate and getting across. So usually, like, do you communicate directly? Like, and for any one of those people that were like me that didn't like conflict, they would avoid it initially. Yeah, I pretty much would avoid it. And then suppress your needs. So the thing is, with any type of conflict, communication needs to take shape in that situation. It needs to take form. And it's all about understanding the person. But see, what happens is when there's any form of conflict, your nervous system may shut down. So if the nervous system shuts down, you don't know how to respond. But when you're able to control your emotions and master those emotions, which I love doing, and you're able to kind of sit back with it and be like, because whenever I get into, if I get into an argument with someone, whether it be a relationship or a family member, I just kind of like pause and I let them vent their frustration. And I receive it and I take it all in and I'm just like, okay. Sometimes I respond right away, but other times I'm just like, nope. I need some time to process it and then come back with a response. So where are you at? Where are you at now? How do I respond to conflict? Do you communicate directly? Do you avoid it initially? Or do you suppress your needs? Like, I'm not going to bring it up. I'm not going to bring it up unless they bring it up. I'm not going to talk about it. Like, you just want it to put it behind you and you don't want to deal with it. But see, what'll happen is if there's something that you need to deal with, it'll keep popping up in different types of faces. So whether it be a person, a situation, it'll keep showing up until you address that conflict. So just remember that. So that was number 17. How do I respond to conflict? Do I communicate directly? Do I avoid it initially? Or do I suppress my needs? So make sure you write it down. Number 18 is when I think about love, love should feel safe and reciprocal. Love requires some struggle, or love requires sacrifice at my expense. So this is deep because what happens here is you get to understand how you receive love and how you show love. And this question I work a lot on in the self-love mastermind on day 1, which is the self-love foundation, step 1. So when I think about love, love should feel safe and reciprocal. Love requires some struggle, or love requires sacrifice at my expense. And the thing is, the way you see it is not wrong. It's just how you were adapted to receive and understand it. But when two people can get on the same page of understanding their love languages together, that's when it blossoms. That's when you get to really validate the love that you've always envisioned or they have always envisioned, and you get to work together in harmony with it. But it's really important that you understand how each of you show love. And I've talked to like a couple married couples, and one of them recently told me that they receive love and show love differently, and they didn't know that. And how they argued or how they disagreed was different. And so there's people that have been married for years and years, and they're just finding this out about themselves. So understand that it's a process of getting to know who your partner is, like really diving into the core of how they receive love. And this is all communication. It all goes back to communication. So remember, when I think about love, love should feel safe and reciprocal. Love requires some struggle, or love requires sacrifice at my expense. Go ahead, write it down, see where you're at. That was number 18. All right, 19. Do I trust myself? Oh my goodness, you guys. I feel like I should be in a workshop right now with you all. This one is good because recently I asked a client why they didn't trust themselves. And see, as a coach, I get to know where people are at in their life. So no matter what they're struggling with, I get to really understand who they are at their core. And because again, we all have patterns. And sometimes it's as simple as asking a question like that to get their subconscious mind to release something that they've been holding on to for a long time, and understanding who they are and how they process their love, their emotions, and their like worth, and how they release forgiveness, and how they truly love themselves. And so this is a powerful question that I asked one of my clients recently. I said, do you trust yourself? I'm sorry. I asked them, why don't you trust yourself? When did it, I'm trying to remember the exact verbiage I used. I said, oh my goodness, I'm totally losing the language. But I asked them, why don't you trust yourself? That's exactly what I said. Why don't you trust yourself? Where in your life did you feel like you couldn't trust yourself? This is powerful, you guys. Powerful work, because they start to think. Now, when I work with people, again, it's getting to the subconscious. The subconscious runs 90% of our body. The conscious mind is what tries to run the rest. Like, the 10% is we think we know everything, but the 90% is like, yeah, right. So when I coach and when I talk to my clients, I get to their subconscious. I want to get to what's holding on to it. So what's holding on to the stories that it keeps telling them and replaying in their mind. So I want to ask you, do you trust yourself? Do you trust yourself in relationships, in work, in business? A, yes, most of the time. B, sometimes. Or C, rarely. Says a lot. It says a lot because what happens is you start to understand all the areas of your life that you're not trusting yourself in or with. Powerful stuff, you guys. So I want to ask, lastly, remember, ask, do I trust myself? Yes, most of the time. B, sometimes. Or C, rarely. That's a powerful question. I love that one. All right, last one. The statement that best describes me. Ooh, we got some statements, you guys. All right, so the statement that best describes me is A, I am becoming the woman or man, if it's male, men joining me as well, becoming the woman or man God created me to be. A, am I becoming the woman or man God created me to be? B, I know who I am. I know who I want to become, but I'm still growing. That's valid. That's valid. Or C, I often feel disconnected from my worth. That's a good one. You often feel disconnected. So the statement that best describes you as A, I'm becoming the woman God created me to be. Now, it still means that you're doing the work. Okay. So many people, we give ourselves like less credit than where we're at. And I know I did that for a long time, but I can strongly say that I am becoming the woman God created me to be. It's a bumpy road, but I'm becoming her. B, I know who I want to become, but I'm still growing. This is where you're like second guessing yourself. And C, I often feel disconnected from my worth. All right, you guys, go ahead and add up all of those. So you're going to say how many A's you had, how many B's you have, and how many C's you have. And then you're going to tally it. So let me know. So let's see. You're going to put, all right, so A's. Let me see if I can put this in here. B's. Oh my goodness. Or C's. You guys are probably going to finish it before I even finish writing this out. Be like ahead of me. Okay. So tally up A, B's, and C's. So just like this. So you're going to say A's, like how many A's did you have? Like, let's say you had, I don't know, out of 20, let's say you had 12 A's. Let's say you had 4 B's and then the rest C's. So go ahead and tally that up. And then I'm going to give you a layout of what that looks like. Okay. So, this is what it, silly me. I'm sorry, you guys. I had the wrong statement down. So let me go ahead and put this in here really quick. You're going to have to add it up again. My apologies. That was my bad. So this is how it's going to look. It's going to say your A's are worth 3 points. Your B's are worth 2 points. And your C's are worth 1 point. So go ahead and pause, or I'll give you a quick minute while I put my notes again. And so you're going to do A is 3 points, which means that you have strong self-worth. Okay. Your B's are going to be growing self-worth. And your C's are going to be your self-worth needs attention. Okay. And that's okay. Remember, these assessments are awareness. It just helps you think and understand. Okay. So you're operating from alignment more often than fear. You understand boundaries. You trust yourself. You choose peace over attention. Okay. So those are going to be in alignment with mostly A's. So if your scores are 50 to 60s, you have strong self-worth. So I'm going to read that again. You're operating from alignment more often than fear. You understand boundaries. You trust yourself, and you choose peace over attention. So keep honoring your growth. The challenge now is consistency and continued alignment. So make sure you're staying consistent and aligned. Okay. Now, if you're a mostly B's, you're growing your self-worth. You're basically aware. You're aware of what's happening. You're healing. You know what needs to change. The next level of growth comes from acting on what you already know. After the decision, you're stepping into it. You're becoming who go. And then mostly C's, that's 20 to 34 points. Self-worth needs attention. Again, no judgment, just awareness. You may be abandoning yourself in ways you don't fully recognize. You may be choosing fear over self-respect. You may be holding on to things God is asking you to release. This isn't judgment. Like I said, this is an invitation. This is awareness in where healing begins. Okay. So go ahead and re-add them up. I don't think I gave you guys scores, and I'm going to do that right now. So like mostly A's are 50 to 60 points. So let me go ahead and drop that in really quick. So that you guys have it on the screen. All right. So mostly A's are 50 to 60 points. Okay. And then mostly B's are 35 to 49 points. 35 to 49 points. And then mostly C's are going to be your 20 to 34 points. Let me put this in there. 20 to 34 points are going to be your mostly C's as well. All right, so I have your mostly A's, 50 to 60. Your mostly B's, 35 to 49 points. And then your mostly C's are going to be 20 to 34 points. Okay. So C's, like I mentioned, I think, yeah, I already told you guys it's not a judgment. It's just awareness. And then, so I want you to, after closing, okay, after adding everything up, okay, if the woman you are becoming met the woman you used to be, what advice would she give her? I want you to, if you want to answer that question and reflect on it tonight. If the woman you are becoming, actually, I feel like this needs to go on the screen, right? So like you could take a screenshot, right? I know. You're like, Francine, I can like take a screenshot and do this work. I know. You know what? I felt you saying that. We're like right here. I didn't even know it. Okay, so let's see. Oh, it cut it off. I hate when it does that. Okay, so let's type it here. If the woman you are becoming met the woman you used to be, take a screenshot of that. What advice would she give her? What advice would she give her? Take a screenshot. And I want you to reflect on that. So men, if the man I was becoming met the man I used to be, what advice would I give him? Okay. So remember that. Want you to reflect on that. Sit with it. Because the old me would have said yes. Remember, the old me would have entertained it. The old me would have laughed. The old me would have left the door cracked open. The old me would have needed the attention. But healing changes your appetite. You stop craving things that once fed your wounds. Oh, that's powerful, you guys. You stop feeding things that once fed your wounds. For the people in the back. Remember, you stop craving things that once fed your wounds. When you heal, some invitations stop looking attractive. Yes, they do. They come automatic. So the goal isn't to become perfect. The goal is to become aligned, to become the woman God is calling you to be. And one day you'll look at a situation and realize the old me would have said yes, but she doesn't live here anymore. She doesn't control my emotions anymore. I am in power and control of how I respond. And I have boundaries, and I allow my self-respect to magnify everything that I am today. And you show up with so much love and empathy and understanding for people that don't see that same type of response. And that's okay. I always tell people you get to bless and release. All right, you guys, we went a little over, so thank you for bearing with me. This was a powerful show that I wanted to get out to you all and share my own experience. So I hope you found some value in it. If you did, please share this with someone who can use this encouragement. You guys know I'm here to support you. The next Self-Love Mastermind dates are going to be listed soon. So make sure you're following along on social media or, any possible way. I have an email list, social media, and then, of course, by checking my website at francineayala.com. So until next time, you guys, go out there, be a blessing for somebody, smile at people, know that you are loved, you are worthy, and you are going to receive God's grace and good things in your life. Be open to receiving. Wake up grateful every single day. Know that you are loved and you're worthy of anything that is possible if you believe. Okay? All right. Go out. Have a blessed day, blessed night, wherever you're joining me from. And I will see you next week. Take care. Bye.